Okay, welcome to the first commentary from Harlequin. It's going to be between Kraken, the Zerg in the bottom right corner, and the blue Protoss of Harlequin in the top left corner. Pretty straightforward stuff initially. They'll just build some probes and some drones. See a 9 pylon go down here. So we'll more than likely see a Forge Fast expand first off. You see the observer moving out from the Zerg base. He tries to get as much scouting as early as possible. Often he will send a drone as well, but probably not. Yeah, silver level play today, so it's not going to be too fancy. There's going to be some supply blocks, and there's going to be some very poor timings. As we see that pylon going down there now, about a minute. The Zerg player still building. There's the Overlord. I'll pull up production. Not that it's going to be very full at this stage of the game. You see the probe coming across the field here for Harlequin, as it's gonna see if it can scout a spawning pool or a hatchery first, as that'll depend on whether or not a forge goes down or we see a nexus first. Probe comes in, just chilling. And we see the probe gets killed there, but denied a bit of mining time. Neither here nor there really, but pretty much tells us that he's gonna go hatchery first. We see that drone is gonna move down there to build a hatchery. We'll see how Harlequin responds. Now it does look like he's gonna go at nexus first. Pretty bold assumption really, because if he does go spawning pool first now and Roshka slings, Harlequin would be in a lot of trouble. Waiting for the 400 minerals, and then we see the nexus go down and the hatchery is underway. So right off the bat the Zerg player is a little bit ahead, and we see he drops his spawning pool there. We see his hatchery's gone down before the nexus. And both players, you see Chrono's going down on the probes. Both players still just droning up due to the lack of tech, and it's like 3 minutes in, so it's not too bad. So the Overlord will spot that it is nexus first. So give the Zerg player a couple of options here. He can look at saving up and dropping a quick third base over here, or he can tech up behind this. Gives him a bit of free time where he's not going to take any major damage. Nexus, the forge is going down there now, and we'll probably see a gateway go down next to it shortly. Now this wall in actually isn't a full wall yet, and we see a pylon go down there to complete the wall, and that's pretty bad. Actually that pylon does need to be a step forward, or over to the left. We often see it a little bit more. But nonetheless, that's where the pylon is placed for this game. You can see the natural expansion being saturated here for the Zerg player. A couple of queens on the way. And we'll look to spread creep and do some lava injects with those queens. Overlord coming in here, checking that there's no quick third to this unorthodox third location, I would say. As with the rocks here making this expansion a bit safer, they also make it very easy to get down to your third base and protect that. See the gateway finishing up. We should see a cybernetics core go down reasonably quickly as probes filter into the gas now for Harlequin. Neither gas taken yet for the Zerg player of Kraken, as he is building more drones. No lings yet. Both queens are out, sorry. He's building 2 more queens. So these queens are just spreading creep for the moment, as it seems. Not too worried about early lava injects. A fair bit of money banking up for the Zerg player now. Might see an expansion or drop a couple of tech placements. Zealot on the way, a couple more gateways being added on, and the cybernetics core for the Protoss player. And he's getting all of his gas. He's just sending gas to those ones now. Sending probes to that gas rather. And the Zerg player is going to take a third now. A reasonably quick third, although we do see quicker. And a spine crawler going down here as well to help defend the ramp. And the 4 lings out. He's doesn't really have to use them for map control at this point. With these overlords out, you can see what is going on fairly extensively. See a robotics facility dropped here by Harlequin. So we'll look to get some Immortals, or maybe some Colossus out of that. Mute Queens drop to the bottom of the ramp as we see the first couple of Lings moving out. And this Spine Crawler destroying the rocks here now. So giving him easy access to that third, like I said just before. He hasn't got anything scouting the third for Harlequin yet, but I dare say one of these Lings will find his way there. We see a Stalker on the way, and another Sentry back up in here. 2 Stalkers and a Sentry. He's going to boost new Warp Gate. The Robo's almost finished in the main. +1 just starting now. And all the gas will be saturated. Pro building's not the best, but again, silver, and he could be building more drones, as is usually the case. Especially with 7 idle larvae, he could definitely be doing more. But yeah, silver, so it's not going to happen. So we see Warp Gate's about to finish. We'll drop another 4 gateways. We see an Observer pop out as well. A lot going on at this point. Not chrono boosting the Forge, which is unusual. And yeah, there's that Zergling scouting for the third of Harlequin. So space is up now. He gets a Queen over there for the lava injects. The rocks are almost down, so it's come at a pretty good time. It does have a lot of minerals though. We see a Roach Warren dropped here for the Zerg player. Pretty common step, I suppose. And oh, we have a Warp Prism on the way for Harlequin. So we might see some, let's say, Zealot drops at this point. Maybe Immortal drops, but yeah, I can't see why we wouldn't see Immortal drops with that Robo out. Except I think you'd go Immortals before the Warp Prism in that case. A couple more probes on their way out at the moment. Both players banking up quite a considerable amount of minerals. Let's just see what else could be done at this point in time. And we have a Robotics Bay down for the Protoss player, so we could see Colossus coming out here at a pretty quick time. As he's not really doing anything. +1 just finishing up at the moment. So we see +1 range and +1 armor for the Zerg player coming out now. And they're about halfway done in the double Evo chamber. And yeah, we have a Colossus on the way. He will pick off that Overlord before he sees the Colossus. But he has seen that Warp Prism, so yeah, and it's not going to be as effective. He is building a Spine Crawler in that middle line, however, but there is a Spore Crawler off to the side. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw a few more Spore Crawlers. Yep, there's one behind the main, and a Spine Crawler in the middle line, for if he does do any drops anyway. Pretty safe. We see that moving out now. Colossus is almost done. And you see he's going to start destroying those rocks as he looks to take a third. Now, so far we've had no major conflict at about 11 minutes. It's pretty unusual. You do really need to pressure Zerg more, as you could easily have, as you can see by the minerals, a 4th and a 5th base up. There's no scouting by Harlequin and no pressure. He does have considerable force, and it is, it's considerably large compared to the Zerg army. So he could easily be doing good damage now, or at least forcing the Zerg player to spend his money on units and not tech. But given that it's silver, he's not really spending it at all. We've seen the Hydralisk Den here for Kraken, as he's getting the upgrades for the Hydralisk range. Not very effective against the Colossus. If he's he will have the extended thermal lance, so that'll pretty much make that ineffective against the unit composition that Harlequin has chosen. And this Warp Prism has been forgotten about, it does look, because he did not scout these. As we see here, he doesn't. Well, he does know about the third, thanks to that Observer, but he's not using that Warp Prism, which is unusual. So he could get in and do a little bit of damage, but that Spine Crawler would make it pretty ineffective nonetheless. The third base here going down now. The army moves out the front. So we got 2 Colossus at 13 minutes and a fair few Stalkers, 3 Sentries. That's not a bad unit composition for this time, but again, he's not using it, so it's pretty ineffective. We see the rocks go down as the Zerg player prepares to take a 4th base. which he could have done ages ago with that 3,000 mineral bank there. See the stalkers coming down, gonna take the towers, kill the Zergling there. No one at that tower, but with this good level of creep spread from the Zerg player, that's not really too important. And the third base almost finished up now. See a Twilight Council and a second forge going down. He does have the 2 robo bays. We're not utilizing both of them for Colossus production at the moment. And the Zerg players not really doing a lot right now. He's moving some spine crawlers around. Having said that, +1 armor is the only thing going on for Harlequin. There's another 2 Colossus on the way out now. We'll be in some stalkers. This force is looking pretty formidable and is quite a bit larger, as you can see here, than the Zerg army. Let's check the income now. Zerg is earning a lot more minerals, but he's still not spending them, so it's not really in his favor too much. So you see this expansion get some probes now. You see one of the gas being taken. And this forge just not being used. He has the money to use it. It's just silver. That's pretty much what that comes down to. The 4th base going down now for Kraken. Next couple of Colossus, sorry, about to pop out. It's +1 armor finishes and +2 weapons is started. For Harlequin, we have just +1/+1 on the units for Kraken. So that could give him a little bit of an advantage. Oh, we won't, sorry, because +2 is about to finish. So Kraken is going to have an upgrade advantage here with +2/+2. However, this is a very strong unit composition for Harlequin with 5 Colossus and a number of sentries. I'm not sure how many, so I can't double click on them because I'm bad, as you can see by my play. As he moves into killing these creep tumors, the Zerg player knows he's on the way. And he doesn't really have the army to deal with that at this stage though. It's outnumbered and the unit composition is not in his favour. So +2 still taken away there. He's getting an infestation pit, sorry. That will be very beneficial against this army. As Harlequin moves in now to take this 4th. There are no drones here, he hasn't started mining. So he's only going to lose 300 minerals for that. As the army moves in here for Kraken, and we see some force fields going down, some pretty good force fields going down. Immobilizing a lot of that army for Kraken. He's supposed to drop back. He loses that hatchery pretty easily. A number of the 2 sentries left with this army, so he did lose at least 1. So he'll move down this ramp towards the 3rd now. As you see, his army supplies are pretty even at the moment. +2 still hasn't finished for Harlequin. The Colossus outranging that spine crawler. Now, 10 Hydralisks and 21 Roaches are on the way here for Kraken, so he could be able to hold this. This +2 is about to finish. No other units in production. Oh, he's building 2 more Colossus now, so 5 to 7 Colossus is about to come in as these units come down this ramp. Snipe both those sentries immediately, but these Colossus are just going to do too much damage. And that concave from those stalkers, he's not going to be able to effectively trade there. As this army supply dwindles. He's building 44 Zerglings at the moment, which could be more than useful. See some Overlords dying, he loses another base there. Goodlings will take out this Zealot. 7 kills, 8 kills on the Zealot, it lived. It probably won't live these Lings though. And yeah, sure enough, we see it die. A lot of kills on all of these Colossus. Has been the victory point for Harlequin, really, as he takes out those Lings without losing too many Stalkers, and there's the GG. Kraken knows it's over. Alright, thanks for joining me. I look forward to doing more replays.